My brother married my lying, cheating ex, got her pregnant, then demanded I forgive them and forget the past. I used to believe people could change. I really did, but now I have only one opinion. Sure, even hardened criminals might turn their lives around, but cheaters? Cheaters always cheat. My brother had to learn that the hard way. He insulted me, refused to believe me when I warned him that his precious wife was a cheater. It really hits different when it's your own blood. How could I be so sure she was a cheater? Because she cheated on me first. And her cheating stories? They're wild, almost impossible to believe unless you live through them like I did. So here's the full history. Lily, 32F, was my ex-girlfriend. Now, she's my brother's wife. I guess I can call her my ex-fiancée too. She cheated on me with my own brother when I told him not to marry her, that she was in it for money and nothing else. He didn't listen. I didn't even attend the wedding, and that created a rift between us. Now, 5 years later, he wants to reconcile because Lily's pregnant. My mom pushed me to give him a chance, so I listened. I gave him the benefit of the doubt. Then it came out. Lily had still been cheating on him when she gave birth. The baby didn't look like him. He took a paternity test, and now he's finally seen it with his own eyes. Let me rewind a bit. Back when I was dating Lily, I was naive. I wanted a hot girlfriend to show off, mostly because I'd been a loser in high school, and the validation felt good. I even spent money on a flashy car, just to impress people. Lily, though, she was paranoid, always checking my phone, calling a track where I was getting mad if I so much as said hi to another woman. I tried to make her feel secure, introduced her to my closest friends. When my friends' friends saw her, they immediately warned me, said she was no good. I didn't listen. I thought they were just jealous, foolish, I know. Then I brought her to meet my parents, mom, 67F, dad, 69M, and my brother Ethan, who's 3 years older than me. He's 35 now, but still acts like a teenager half the time. I invited her to our family beach trip, hoping we'd bond more. I thought it would be amazing. It wasn't. We got into a fight on the beach. She accused me of checking out a woman in a bikini, for the record. I wasn't, but she didn't care. She slapped me and stormed off. I didn't chase after her right away. I was mad, but after some time, I started to worry and went looking for her. Couldn't find her anywhere. My parents had gone into town to shop. So I returned to the beach house, hoping she had too, and there she was half naked on the couch with Ethan doing things I wish I could unsee. I lost it. Lily blamed me, said it wouldn't have happened if I hadn't looked at other women, as if her betrayal was my fault. Ethan said he just didn't think she was my type, and that they'd be happier together. I left, furious, broken. Later, I found out she'd been going out with other guys behind my back even while we were dating. Fancy dinners, shopping sprees, flirting constantly. I was just another sucker funding her lifestyle. I tried warning Ethan, but he didn't want to hear it. He was already hooked. Then came the wedding invite. I was shocked. He was marrying her after just a few months. Oleyer, Ochito, all manipulator. I couldn't stop the wedding, but I tried. I gathered everything I had. Messages, photos, receipts. I showed them to Ethan. He shrugged it off, said Lily had already told him the truth, that she had tried out different men to find the right one. And he was it apparently. He was her perfect person. I knew it was garbage, but he believed her. Ethan makes good money, and we have a pretty comfortable life thanks to our dad's real estate investments. We don't pay rent, live in nice apartments, have family support. Lily wanted in on that. She made Ethan throw a lavish wedding, paid for mostly with dad's money. She even invited a bunch of her ex-flings. I swear, nearly a quarter of the wedding guests had been with her. It was insane. Her own family didn't even show up. They disowned her, though we never got the full story. I refused to go. I told Ethan I wasn't going to attend my ex's wedding. He called me jealous, said I couldn't handle seeing him happy. That was the last time we spoke, 5 whole years. Then, just recently, Mom called me, said Ethan wanted to reconcile. I told her if he really meant it, he could call me himself. She agreed and said she'd tell him. A few days later, he did call. He said Lily was pregnant, that it had been 5 years and their marriage was solid. He sounded smug, like he wanted to rub it in my face that I was wrong, said I should put the past behind us and reconnect. But things were about to unravel, because that baby doesn't look anything like him, and now the truth he refused to see is staring him right in the face. To reconcile and welcome the new baby, I decided to visit them. They seemed like a happy, normal family. Ethan took a dig at me for still being single and urged me to at least get a girlfriend. He even thanked me for introducing him to Lily, giving me credit for his happy family. The whole interaction pissed me off, and I was determined to prove him wrong. I was surprised their relationship had lasted so long. So I decided to dig into Lily's past. Unsurprisingly, I found a lot of dirt on her. Over the years, she had cheated on my brother multiple times, checking into hotels with various guys. I had proof, including screenshots of texts from a guy named John, 40, who had ended things badly with her. He shared screenshots of texts where she was talking to other men. John said he didn't know she was married and that she had used him for shopping and outings while her husband was out of town. I now had enough evidence to prove that Lily was a cheater, especially thanks to John. One day, Lily called me, saying it was an emergency and that she was alone since she was pregnant. I didn't want to leave her alone, so I went to their house. She told me that Ethan was at work. Then she revealed that she knew I'd been asking around about her, and she would sleep with me to keep her secret from Ethan. She invited me to the bedroom, but I declined and left immediately. What happened next was unexpected. She lied to Ethan, claiming that I had asked her to sleep with me and blackmailed her, threatening to expose her cheating. I told Ethan that no such thing happened. In fact, she was the one who called me and made the offer. Despite my explanation, Ethan wouldn't believe me. I tried showing him all the evidence of Lily's infidelity, but he was angry and refused to listen. I kept trying to tell him through my mom and dad, but he refused to hear it. He grew angrier that I was trying to influence the family. At this point, my parents knew what was going on. My mom was deeply troubled. She didn't want Ethan in a bad marriage, especially with a baby on the way. My dad didn't care much because he thought Ethan was being foolish, ignoring all the signs that Lily was a cheater. I knew Ethan to be gullible as a child, but now he was just being outright stupid. My mom tried talking to Ethan to explain that Lily wasn't good for him. Ethan, however, thought I had influenced her and that she now believed Lily was a cheater based on fake evidence. Ethan got mad at my mom, so she caved in and pretended to believe Lily wasn't cheating. I distanced myself from Ethan and his wife because there was no point in talking to someone who refused to believe me. Besides, he was angry at me for seducing his wife. A couple of months later, Ethan called me. Lily was giving birth. My parents were stuck in another state due to canceled flights, and Ethan was in a complete panic. I didn't know what to do, but I stayed with him. The birth was long and complicated, but eventually, Lily and Ethan welcomed a baby boy. At first, I was happy for them, but then something about the baby seemed off. The baby had features neither Ethan nor Lily had, and I couldn't help but feel something was wrong. I noticed the baby's eyes and thought they looked like those of a baby of Asian descent. I tried to tell myself it was just a baby thing, but something in me was screaming that the baby wasn't Ethan's. I stayed with him for a few days, and the more I looked at the baby, the more obvious it became that he wasn't Ethan's. I couldn't help but laugh because at that point, I felt like I had won. The baby was the biggest evidence that Lily had been cheating. I could see in my brother's face. He knew it too. He had no emotional connection with the baby. A couple of days later, Ethan came to my house and addressed the elephant in the room. He confessed that he felt the baby wasn't his and that Lily had cheated on him. He told me that they had been careful to use protection, but Lily claimed it had failed. I showed him all the evidence I had collected over the years. That night, I proved that Lily had been regularly cheating on him. Ethan sobbed the entire night while Lily kept calling him because she couldn't handle the baby on her own. I advised Ethan to do a paternity test to get clarity. When he did, the results showed that he wasn't the father. Ethan had a huge argument with Lily, and we were all there to witness it because he wanted us by his side. Lily had no argument, as she was clearly in the wrong. Instead, she tried to play the victim, accusing Ethan of not trusting her and doing a paternity test without her knowledge. She threw a tantrum, screaming and throwing things, waking the baby up. Ethan decided to stay at my parents' house for a couple of days, taking the baby with him because he didn't trust Lily to care for him in that chaos. I could sense that Ethan was starting to get attached to the baby, and so were my mom and dad. Eventually, Ethan sent Lily divorce papers. At first, she denied cheating and accused him of faking the DNA results. After another test confirmed Ethan wasn't the father, she started making ridiculous excuses for her behavior. She claimed the baby was conceived through IVF and that they had used a sperm donor, but she couldn't prove it. The court granted the divorce on the grounds of adultery, but Lily was awarded custody of the child, as Ethan had no legal claim to him. She also demanded maintenance and child support. However, the court ruled that she couldn't claim child support as the child wasn't Ethan's and she didn't deserve maintenance either. Lily blamed the entire divorce on me, bombarding my phone with messages. She also begged Ethan to take her back, saying she had nowhere to go with the baby, my mom and dad. Offered to help her out for a couple of weeks until she could find accommodations and a job. I don't think she deserves my parents' pity, but what can I say? They're really good people. I still can't believe my brother could be so stupid and gullible as to marry Lily. I know I shouldn't hold grudges, but I feel like my brother is the one who got what he deserved. My ex-girlfriend cheated on me with my own brother. My brother married her despite me warning him not to when I tried to convince him that she was still a cheater. He didn't believe me, but he believed that I tried to sleep with his wife because she told him so. I'm seriously considering cutting ties with my brother because I'm still angry at him for all of it. The only reason I still spoke to him all this time was because something in me wanted to prove him wrong and show him that his wife was a cheater and that I was right all along. Now, I feel like my mission is accomplished, and I'm extremely satisfied that the truth is out. Sometimes I even find it funny. I want to rub it in his face, bring it up all the time, and watch his face go pale, I know. A lot of you might call me an asshole for feeling this way, but I just can't help it. My brother wasn't any less of an asshole to me either. I really want answers on whether I should cut ties completely or just stay distant. Hello, people. I'm here to continue my last post about my brother and his cheating wife, who also happens to be my ex-girlfriend. Crazy, right? What's even crazier is that she got pregnant while cheating. My brother divorced her, and she had nowhere to go. My mom and dad gave her one of their flats to stay in until she found a job. The only reason they helped her out was because she had a baby, and it would have been cruel to leave her out on the streets. I knew she would sleep her way into someone's house. But my parents are really nice. After the divorce, her lawyer advised her to find out the real father so he could pay for child support. She had no idea who the real father was, but she felt entitled enough to ask my mom to look after the baby while she went job hunting. She would leave the baby in my parents' house in the morning and show up late in the evenings, sometimes in the middle of the night. Some nights, she wouldn't even come home to pick up the baby. My mom had turned into the baby's full-time nanny. My dad was pretty upset about the whole situation and asked her not to leave the baby at their house anymore. Lily got furious and threw a tantrum, calling my parents selfish and unkind. She said she needed help and that no one was giving her a job. She accused my parents of being inhumane for not wanting to help her out. My mom gave in and continued taking care of her child, even though my dad wasn't happy about it. Ethan didn't want anything to do with it, but I wanted her out of my parents' lives because she was pestering them too much. I got involved to help her find a job, but what I discovered was shocking. Instead of looking for work, she was at home the entire day with a new boyfriend who had moved in with her. He was paying for her stuff, and since he worked from home, he needed peace and quiet. So he asked Lily to take the baby away. As soon as I found out the truth, I told my parents, and they refused to look after the baby anymore. They gave Lily a week's notice to find a new place to live. Her new boyfriend, who was only with her to live rent-free, dumped her and ran away when she asked him to find a house for them. Lily moved in with a friend of hers. Since I had already spent time looking for a job for her, I found her a position as a cleaner at a daycare, specifically because they offered to take care of the baby. While she worked, Lily took the job because she was desperate. And the thing that satisfied me the most was seeing her working as a cleaner. It was also pretty funny that she thought she could get pregnant by someone else and no one would notice. I honestly have mixed feelings about Lily. Part of me thinks she deserves the worst, but at the same time, I feel bad for the baby and her being a single mom. I still hope she stops her cheating ways and raises the child well. That's it for now. Thanks for being hooked on the story. Thank you for all the comments and support. After reading all your comments, I decided I wouldn't cut ties with my brother completely, but things will never be the same as before Lily came into our lives. I think she's ruined the bond we had. He's distanced himself from the whole family ever since the divorce, and now I'm not sure if I should reach out to him or just leave him alone. Please share your thoughts in the comments. Another update. After thinking it through, I reached out to my brother. Thank God I did. He felt a certain shame for not believing me. And with the divorce and everything, he wasn't doing well emotionally. I'm relieved I didn't cut ties and made an effort to mend the relationship. It took a lot for me because I was still angry about everything. I think trusting your partner and sticking up for them is one thing, but blindly believing them and going against your entire family is another. At this point, I feel like I'm the older brother. Eventually, I did talk about my anger and resentment toward him for being the guy my girlfriend cheated with. He definitely broke all the bro codes. He apologized and learned his lesson about not trusting cheaters. He also apologized for taunting me for being single. I had forgotten about a lot of things he did, but basically, he was an asshole to me throughout the years. He's been like that since we were kids, but he crossed all limits after marrying Lily. As for Lily, I thought she was doing well, but it turns out she wasn't good at cleaning at all. She ended up sleeping with the manager, a 47-year-old man at the daycare, and was promoted to a helper. She didn't know anything about taking care of kids. She couldn't even care for her own child properly. There were several complaints against her from the staff about how she treated the kids. But the manager wouldn't listen. Then the parents started complaining, and they had no choice but to let her go. She begged them to stay, but it wasn't good for their reputation. The manager ended his relationship with her too. She was jobless and desperate again. After a long search, Lily finally found the baby's father, James, a 39-year-old man of Asian origin. James was rich, but also a cheater. Just like Lily, he was already married to a wonderful woman, Olivia, 37, who must have been heartbroken when she found out about the affair and the child. Lily insensitively showed up at their doorstep, and when James denied any connection to the baby, she called the police and sought legal help. James had to take a paternity test, which confirmed he was indeed the father of the child. Olivia, who couldn't conceive, decided to pursue custody of the baby, but James wasn't interested in keeping the child, and they lost the case. Lily, on the other hand, wanted the baby so she could claim child support and use it for her own needs. The court ordered James to pay child support to Lily, and she started receiving a significant sum every month. Her child would be taken care of at daycare, while she looked for another man to fulfill her needs. Lily turned out to be worse than I had ever thought. She's not going to stay pretty and young forever, and she really needs to find a career so she's not dependent on anyone. Any sane guy would never marry her after what she's become. She hops from one guy to another for her own benefit. And one day, she's going to end up in a lot of trouble. I just feel terrible for the poor child. I hope she changes her ways, but for now, her life has become way too easy. However, I'm sure tough times are ahead for her. My brother and I are just watching and hearing about her all the time. It's funny how news in this town spreads like wildfire. Lily now has a bad reputation, and no good guy will want to be with her. Knowing about her gold-digging tendencies, the company she's in is far from good, and I just hope it doesn't affect the baby. Update. Surprisingly, I have more updates on Lily and her cheating, gold-digging, and freeloading ways. As I predicted in my earlier posts, she wouldn't end up in good company. Some guys she's with aren't good, and they want to take advantage of her. I respect women who have an active sexual life, but Lily's been getting involved with criminals who have strong links to selling drugs. She currently lives with one of these guys, and she overdosed while taking drugs with him. I won't go into details about what she was taking, but she went without help for almost 20 hours. Her baby managed to open the door and was roaming the streets. He almost got hit by a car when neighbors spotted him and took him home. They found Lily unconscious and called the authorities. She was rushed to the hospital, and the baby was taken by child protection authorities. The poor kid had been exposed to high amounts of drugs and smoke, which caused severe damage to his lungs at such a young age. Ethan felt bad for the kid and tried to meet him. The authorities allowed us to. And soon after James was contacted, he was awarded custody of the child after checking that he could care for him. My mom, who's attached to the child, was worried sick. Olivia, James's wife, who is a school teacher and loves children, accepted the child as her own and started caring for him. What was even more surprising was that Olivia filed for divorce from James. She had all the evidence she needed about the affair and the child. She also got a huge sum of alimony. Thank God she divorced him because she didn't deserve to stay with a cheater. Not only did she divorce him, but she also kept the child. Olivia legally adopted him and now raises him as a single mom. I think she's doing a great job, and I'm happy the kid has a good life. She even lets my mom visit him since she's so concerned and attached to him. As for Lily, her overdose landed her in the hospital for a couple of weeks. She would have died if she had taken more drugs or had not been found unconscious. The child was malnourished and weak. He was hungry and had a severely soiled diaper. He was almost hit by a car, and he had been crying for hours. If the kid hadn't managed to open the door, it could have been too late. Lily had to go to rehab for 6 months and was hit with a huge fine. If she hadn't paid it, she would have gone to jail. My brother visited her out of pity, thinking she would be upset about losing her child. But she didn't care. She was just upset about no longer getting child support from James. She was relieved to no longer have to look after the baby. After getting out of rehab, Lily went straight to Olivia's house to find out that she had divorced James. Lily took the opportunity to ask Olivia for money, hoping she could get some so Olivia wouldn't take the baby from her. Little did she know, Olivia had legally adopted the child. Olivia called the cops on Lily for threatening her with money and had a restraining order put against her. She was warned that if she ever tried to meet the child again, she would go to jail for putting the kid in danger. I keep thinking about everything that happened. Lily had a good life with Ethan. If only she had changed and been faithful to him, her life would be so much better. There was no reason for her to cheat. I think she just craves attention from multiple guys at once. Even though Ethan was doing his best to give her attention, Lily ruined her own life. And in the end, she's the one who suffered. But her actions affected her kid and Ethan. I just wish she had been more careful and used protection. So she didn't ruin the baby's life. At least my brother found out she was a cheater through the baby. And in the end, everything worked out. Ethan opened his eyes, Olivia got the kid, and Lily got what she deserved.